it's a balance between what you're passionate about, what you really enjoy. And that could be the industry vertical. It could be the dimension of marketing that you want to specialize in. I think it's dangerous to niche in marketing too specifically, though. I think it's a multifaceted machine, a bit like sales in that respect. But I also think you have to look at your marketplace, and where basically comes down to three key areas. I call them three gates. It's need, accessibility, and affordability. And this is the secret sauce I do with all my clients who say, how do I determine a niche? I start you off with a matrix of maybe 4 or 5 different options in terms of client profiles, industry verticals, or market segments that you could potentially work in, and then evaluate each one on the basis of affordability, accessibility, and need. Whomever has the biggest need, articulated need, that you can then solve a problem for, is a great position to start with. Then it's looking at the energy required to engage that audience, whether it's B2B, B2C. It's great to have a company or a potential client that has huge need, but if you take all of your resources and 12 months to get a first conversation, it's not viable. So you have to balance need, the ability to get in front of them to deliver the value, or at least a way for them to experience what you're offering as a VP. And then affordability, because if they aren't equipped to pay what you command for that solution, then they're not your ideal client. Now, typically, if you do the sales process right, you're discounting money, because essentially you're solving a problem that has a greater cost than which you charge for it. But that said, you could look at the students of the world and think, great market, because they have huge need, they have all the enthusiasm, but typically have no money. So they don't always become, obviously it's economies of scale, but they're not necessarily the best starting point for any business. So it's looking at those 3 points. It becomes more complex as you dig deeper into them, because you start off with a hypothesis, and then you go out and validate those hypotheses by interrogating the market, engaging with them, asking questions, ensuring that what you believe is a problem is actually a problem they recognize and agree. Because quite often what happens, actually, statistically, one of the biggest killers of business, and the reason why startups fail, number 1, they start a business where there is not sufficient market need, and number 2, they run out of cash, and that's because they didn't start selling soon enough.